feel like some people might need to hear this in this world today. It's okay to not agree with everything. It is possible to be in disagreement on a topic and still have love and respect in the relationship.
Hello everyone, we are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome
All right.
to episode number 3.
Trace.
You're going Espanol today?
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
Kids all over the house speaking it all the time.
They do.
So pretend like I know what I'm doing too.
It's a good pretending.
So we're going to talk real quickly on this episode about how to get the most out of this podcast. This is a topic Jackie and I kind of disagree that is necessary.
Like our sweet 4-year-old would say, I'm right, you're wrong.
She does too. We were just talking about this today. Our 4-year-old Hunter, she is like very quick. She's a very quick thinker for 4 years old, and she already enjoys arguing. And you have to be loud and you have to be smart in our household to get your point across and to win an argument. Everybody in this family is extremely competitive at all levels. So
yeah, where do they get that stuff from?
Yeah, I don't know, but
that's the
anyways,
craziest thing.
Yeah. But you know what? I do want to address this a little bit, and I think it's partially for the audience we will have. But for me, it's actually a lot just for me too. I just need to
podcast for Greg Francis.
I need to be able to say this so that way it's understood, I guess. And the thing about this is one of the ways that I know that we want to approach this. I know for me in particular, I really want to speak from the perspective of is like we are doing this assuming our children will be listening to this when they have children. And so whether that sounds a little more self-serving than it should, but that is our main objective. So in order to be able to do that effectively, I have to keep that perspective in front of me all the time. Otherwise, I could potentially start catering to what maybe the world would like to hear versus what I would teach, what we would teach to our own children, unfiltered, forget what political correctness is out there, etc. The things that we do in our household right now, I want to be able to speak at a level like that because I know that our children will be listening to this. That makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, they'll be listening to it tomorrow, but they'll also be listening to it in 10 years when they're parents and when they're ready to raise up their own children. I think there's something about it from a loving perspective when you think most people will give you advice that you want to hear, not what you should really hear.
Yeah.
And if we're willing to really be honest and talk about things that we would personally want to hear ourselves, not always like to hear, but would want to hear. And then same thing for our kids. We want to give advice that we would honestly give, not maybe what they want to hear all the time.
Yeah.
But the best advice we could give.
Yeah.
And we want to give that to everybody else out there that's listening.
I mean, we'll talk about this in future episodes, but we just feel like these kids are a gift in our life and that they're God's and that it's our job to steward them well. And it's our job to equip them and to raise them. And the reality is in today's world, there's a lot of tough conversations that have to be said. There's a lot of things that we got to hit head on that maybe wouldn't have had to have been addressed, 2, 3, 4 decades ago, but it's in our face today. And so, we can't go about it in a weak way. We can't try to make sure everybody's feelings are in perfect harmony all the time when they might need to hear truth that might tweak a little bit once in a while. And so the whole point is, if you're listening to us on these podcasts, I would appreciate it if you all, our audience out there, would actually remember that perspective that, because the reality is we're not going to say things that everybody agrees with all the time. It's just not going to be that way. And I know that we live in a world today that's pretty hypersensitive about, trying to get everybody to agree or trying to say everything so gray and so general that nobody's in quote unquote disagreement. It's almost like nobody's really agreeing because nobody's saying what they really feel or what they really mean, but they're too afraid to say it because then if somebody actually challenges them about being in disagreement, then it's like you're insensitive or something. But the reality is we want to stand in the truth. We want to tell the truth. We want to talk to our future the future, we should say the parents of our future grandkids is what we want, right? Which sounds crazy because, I'm still so young um,
And I'm younger than you. So it's like I'm really young.
you know the deal. So Jackie's 4.5 years older than me.
I am not 4.5 years older than you.
Well, sometimes.
No.
are we, are we
What are you
talking,
talking about?
are we talking maturity or physical age?
Oh, wow. You're going too far.
Yeah, got nothing to say to that one, do you? But I always tell her that, when you get married, you become one. And so now that we're one, we average our age. So together, we're the same age.
No, you're closer to 50 and I'm for sure closer to 40.
Yeah, I just did turn 49 just a couple days ago.
Yeah, and I'm not there yet.
But I'm excited about it, man. One more year, the 40s, 50s is going to be the best decade ever. I mean, why not? It's going to be great. So back to our topic. The reality is this. So, number one, see it from the perspective we're talking to our own kids. It's almost like you get to look under the hood of our vehicle of our family. And that takes a lot of vulnerability and honestly a lot of courage on our end because it almost opens up criticism from others, but we're okay with it. Like we're okay with it because we know that there's people out there that it's going to be able to benefit. And whoever they are, God will put them on our path. God will put them on listening as an audience, and hopefully they can get some things out of it. Now, number two, it's really important to know because some of these topics we're going to talk very strongly about, and we might even almost come across sounding like we think we know everything, but that's not the perspective we're coming from. There are some things that I think through enough experience and enough studying, and now looking at the actual fruit on the tree, we have an extreme high level of confidence that that thing that we're talking about is very effective and it works, right?
Well, and we know some things that we may have tried without really studying how to do it properly didn't work. And we've had some experience with that too, where we've had to go back, revamp, ask for apologies ourselves, even from our kids, and get back on track with what the word is teaching us and how we should parent and how we should do it together.
With the twins, we were scrambling and guessing, and then honestly learned a lot after doing things that we look back and we regret, and then we got better with number 3 and better with number 4 and a little better with number 5 and number 6.
Right.
But we've been trying to improve. We haven't been kind of just like, oh, we can't wait till the kids get out of the household. We've been trying to grow champions.
Well, and I think the thing different today in my mindset is my feeling was never to just give up at some point. I want to parent them all the way until I leave this earth. I want to be an example that they can learn from in all aspects of life and in all different seasons of life. So when I first started out as a parent, when we first had twins, I was brand new at the whole thing. I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And lots of good examples from friends and family and stuff like that. But we were trying to find our own way of doing it that lined up with exactly how we wanted to parent for not just a short amount of time, but for the rest of our lives here on earth with them. And so when I think about that from that perspective, we did a lot of things wrong at first, but we were always willing. That's one thing that I'm just going to pat myself on the back for, is that I've always been willing to learn something different, get more information, evaluate it, pray about it, think about it, take it to take it to God and just discuss with him how he wants us to be and to change it, not be afraid to change and not be afraid to tell the kids, hey, there's going to be a new change. We were not doing things right, or we just want to revamp them, or we want to tweak them and make it right.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah.
So it's been a pretty big work in progress. I think you have to really work on your ego being healthy, meaning that not if someone says something that maybe that goes against what you've been doing or what you've learned, it doesn't mean that person's calling you a loser or saying you're a bad parent or saying that you're an idiot. It just means that there's another perspective out there. And when your ego is healthy enough, you come from a position of, I am doing the best I can with what I currently know, which for many of us may not be a really healthy place because a lot of us didn't grow up like myself. We didn't grow up in a healthy environment. So you have all this stuff in your mind from so many years ago that now you're trying to work out. But the reality is it's still there. And so there's a little internal battle going on. But I know in any area, I know I can't grow if I'm not willing to hear different perspectives outside of my own. Doesn't mean I have to even agree. Doesn't even have to mean I have to just like jump in and just do whatever somebody else is saying right now, but it makes me think about it, And I got to be willing to do that.
Yeah, it gives you a different perspective, if anything. As I've heard from different families that are parenting, parents that are parenting, it may not work for our family and it might not work for your family, some of the advice we give you, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so at least getting the information, then you can evaluate that.
But when it comes to, back to us talking to our kids who are starting to raise our future grandkids, I mean, here's the reality. Whatever we say and whatever somebody else says and whatever the TV personality says and whatever social media says, if that creates confusion and some kind of an argument on a topic, name the topic. The topic could be how do you discipline your kids? The topic could be whatever, right? Well, all these different resources might have a different opinion, so who's right? What we have to do is we have to take it and go put it to the test against the Word of God. That is
Every
the
single
final
time.
authority. That is when, even with you and I in marriage or parenting anything, it's like, okay, I kind of feel like this is the way it should happen. I feel like discipline should work this way. We shouldn't do this in discipline or whatever. But what does the Word say? What does God say we're supposed to do? And when we get to that point, now that's where the argument ends. Now it's a matter of, okay, well, we might have learned something different, but we didn't learn it God's way. We learned some how do you want to say it, worldly opinion way. And obviously, that's why there's so much, disunity out there. But anyways, that's a really important part for people to know. So the biggest thing is realize you may not agree with everything. And just a quick lesson, because I feel like some people might need to hear this in this world today. It's okay to not agree with everything. It is possible to be in disagreement on a topic and still have love and respect in the relationship, right? Whether it's an audience or whether it's in any kind of relationship. We do it with extended family members all the time. We do it with friends that are a different level of friends, but it's important. Here's a couple things I would say. I would suggest you try not to do is when you listen to some of the things that we go over, try not to feel attacked. In other words, if you're down a path and let's say that you got some challenges in your household with your kids, and here you hear us come along and we're talking about this one area, and because we've been doing it this way, we have like really good results, and you could easily be like, oh my gosh, I've screwed that up. It's never too late. Like I will tell you, it's so important, you guys. It's so important to understand this. It is God's will for your kids to be healthy, happy, and whole. It is His will for them to become champions that are rooted in a strong identity of their Maker. It is really, really important to know that we have a God that not only loves each of us and wants us to succeed, but wants our children to succeed. So therefore, if you will be willing to do the best you can with what you know and keep trying to get closer and closer to what God's design is, it doesn't matter if your kids are 2 or if they're 22 or 42 right now. I tell you, if you start going that path, it'll start changing things, because what you'll do is you will start helping your children get back to how God designed them. And when things function, people, things, anything functions within God's design, it's amazing how well it works.
Well, that's so true. And on top of it, to remember that you were handpicked to be their parent, that you were chosen for your children. Nobody else was chosen to be your child's parent. You were chosen.
Wasn't a mistake.
Was not a mistake. And God handpicked you to be parenting your child right now in this time.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're ever not wanting a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm, young 40s, closer to 30 almost, really. And I still.
Me too.
That's just lying. And I still need my mom. I mean, you just talked to your mom yesterday and you were super excited to chat with her. You were getting teared up just chatting with her, because you still want your mom, and I don't think there's ever a time that you don't want a parent in your life. There's never a time. And, all of us as parents want to do the best.
Yeah.
We just want to know that we have enough of the right tools
Right.
to do it.
Yep. So don't feel attacked. For sure, don't feel condemned.
No.
The Word of God says there is no condemnation in Christ. Now, sometimes you might feel guilt, and there's a healthy level of guilt, where let's say that maybe I've been a little lazy in an area or something, or I've been operating out of fear instead of faith, and it's created problems for me. I probably need a little healthy level of guilt, but the guilt is designed to help you improve and get back to who you are in your design as a parent and your kids as what they're supposed to be. But condemnation, see, guilt is when you make a mistake, but condemnation is when you feel like you are a mistake. And that's what happens sometimes when you rattle too many wrong thoughts in your brain for too long. So don't feel condemned. Don't feel offended. You got to fight off that. You got to recognize that Jackie and I, our philosophy is that every important category of life should be played as a team. And there's so much division in the world today where I feel like everybody's kind of on their own trying to protect themselves. And it's not how, again, we were designed to live. We're designed to live in community, but healthy community. And so we're all in this together. So wherever you're at, for us, like Jackie and I, we don't see people as damaged goods. We don't see people as somebody who can't be awesome at anything. We see people as, if you're not awesome at something right now, that's because we gotta work at helping you get to who you're supposed to be and become awesome.
And you need somebody to encourage you to bring out the greatness in what you can already do. I mean, all of us start not knowing what to do until you have that kid. I mean, none of us, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many conversations you have. I mean, I remember when we brought home our twins. I mean, literally bringing them home, putting them down. It was like, so now what? Like, what are we supposed to be doing? Mm-hmm. And things change with time. What is needed as a parent or what your child needs from you as their parent changes. At the beginning, it's simple stuff like taking care of them, feeding them, helping them get enough sleep, cleaning them, whatever it may be. And then it develops into more of a mindset for what our kids need, a stability with the right kind of knowledge from their parents so that they can develop into the people that they are created to be.
Yeah. So I'd say the last main point here is, you use what we call a grocery store approach to our topics, because we're going to go through all kinds of different topics. Yeah. And, we plan on doing this for a long time. And we're going to try to make sure that a lot of the key topics are easily searchable within, so if you want to learn something about, let's say, getting your kids on a schedule, or if you want to learn, what about these quote unquote terrible twos? How do I handle that? If I want to learn about what's the balance between husband and wife actually spending the right time and putting their own oxygen mask on, right? Versus just being so engaged and the kids are dominating everything in their world.
And then all the way up to now, we have teenagers.
Yeah. So we're gonna
hit on it all,
talking about all these different topics. So, grocery store approach means, you don't walk in a grocery store and grab everything off the shelves. What you do is you grab the stuff that you're hungry for. And for all of you out there, you probably are hungry for different things right now. So really grab a hold of the things you're hungry for right now, but don't get mad at the other things you're leaving on the shelf. Right? We don't do that. That'd be horrible in a grocery store, wouldn't it? Like if you go and, you need a loaf of bread and you get mad at all the fruit aisle, because you didn't need it, like just walking around grumbling, But that's how some people are. They want, to have total agreement in every category. Like that's not our goal here. So, and then I'm going to add this last thing in, and it's going out a little bit on a limb, but I will tell you, we've been training and developing people and leaders and growing businesses and teams and high performing cultures for so long, and your family ends up needing to be treated the same way. But one thing that I would suggest that you guys do as an audience here is show up with appreciation. I know it sounds almost self-serving for us to ask for your appreciation, but it's really not for us. Of course, it feels good to be appreciated, but I know this: you will learn at the level that you appreciate. So if you don't appreciate something, then you probably are going to be just being entertained. And our job here, although we are pretty entertaining sometimes, isn't to entertain you, but it's more to help educate and equip you, right? So do you have anything else to add?
No, I think it's all good. More than anything, just remember we're in it together.
Right.
Parenting is it really takes a village sometimes
Yeah.
to raise up the right children that are going to change generations.
And that's our goal. Here we are. We're growing our village, right, within our own home, and then our future generations here. But we're also welcoming anyone that wants to come along on the ride to come with us.
And I think
we become like that community. We want a community. We want to help people be part of something. We want people to feel connected to what we're doing and where we're going, and because we all need each other.
Yeah, I think that I had a total thought, and then you totally interrupted me. He asked me, "Do you have anything else to say?" And then one sentence in, he already goes.
I meant after I talked.
In between my talks, okay. Anyways, I think too.
You're so cute, though.
And then I just think too is that understanding again that we're all in it together, because when you feel like you're all alone or you're isolated or nobody understands, then you can sit there and do nothing, and you're in a position to just influence these amazing gifts that you've been giving. And I don't think there's a day that I wake up that I'm not just thankful that I've been blessed with 6 amazing kiddos. Not perfect, I know sometimes people are like, "Oh gosh, it seems like you guys have it all together." Well, you just caught us at the right 30 seconds, like come join us about 30 minutes later. You'll see the truth. But
yeah, you didn't hear me just yelling at Drews for a high sticking his sister in the forehead yesterday.
I was just glad we weren't at the ER with stitches this time. But anyways, we just have a black eye. It's not a big deal. But I just think it's important to just understand that, like we're all trying our best. Yeah. And so we believe that together we're going to have a good journey on this.
And when you do your best, when you genuinely do your best with what you currently know, I believe that's where faith is. That's where God takes over, because you're doing your best and he partners with you and he takes it from there.
Yeah. Your best is enough, but your best is required.
That's right.
So
okay.
With that, see you next time.
See you next time. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.